Hello ceramic friends, this is Mrs. Bond and I'm about to demonstrate how to go ahead and recycle bone dry clay, which is its most fragile state. Normally you can spin it up. You can actually break it with your hands, so you know it's pretty fragile. And we're going to be crushing tools that are going to be necessary is a rolling pin, paper towels, sponge, water, and then this is water that's in a mustard tube thing that we're going to need for when we add hydration back to bone dry. So I'm going to get the phone put up, hopefully in a spot that you guys can see everything, and we will get started. Okay, so we have our bone dry clay that we are going to crush with the rolling pin. We're literally going to kind of smash it and roll it, and smash it until it's this fine, beautiful dust. This is the dust that we are looking for. If there's any crumbly stuff in it, like this, that is no bueno, so you have to roll that out. You got to keep going until you have all of it rolled nice and smooth. So if it is not soft enough to put on a baby's bottom, it is definitely not ready to be recycled. So just keep that in mind. You got to keep crushing and rolling. Sometimes you got to push, but it does come out to be a fine powdery clay, which is exactly what we were looking for. And as soon as I have that, then I'll be able to show you how we're going to recycle that to plastic. So you'll see it will kind of gather. You just want to make sure it gets off of the rolling pin, because we're going to need every piece of dust that we can. And I still see chunks in here, so I'm going to definitely get rid of those. And by the way, when you see the clay kind of sticking like this, that means it's close to being ready. So that's a good sign when we see that. Okay, so now we're pretty much in our powdery form that we are looking for. We need to just put it up into an ant hill. This nice, beautiful dust that we have created. And I'm going to make it into, let me just get the dust off here so I can put this aside. Okay, and then we have our beautiful little ant hill. Imagine ants making their hill. This is exactly what you're going to need. And we're going to put a little bit of I still see chunks, so I'm going to make sure that those are okay. Very good. So if you still see chunks, just pinch them out. It'll be fine. And then we put a little hole in the center. And the reason why we do that is that's where we're going to aim the water. You see the water, it starts kind of absorbing right away. You want to add some moisture. Not too much though, because if you add too much, then it's going to get real. But basically you're going in there and you keep adding water to it and kind of mixing it. The clay will gravitate to the water, but you don't want to just slosh a whole bunch of it, because if you slosh a whole bunch of it, then it's just not gonna work. But this is closer to what I was referring to slip, like the glue that we use to put on in between pieces. This would be slip. So we're into the slip stage where there's a lot of excess moisture, and we want to get it so it is not completely moist, but not completely not. And you can see how it's kind of coming together like that, gathering on my finger. And I'm just going to add some more clay to that. And those of you who have made tortillas in the past might know this might seem kind of familiar. I don't know. where you grind down the flour and the corn tortillas and get ready for tamale season with the masa, the yumminess. And then we're just going to keep adding that. So right now it's very sticky on my hands. You can see that. That is going to be basically how it needs to remain. I need to try to pull in as much dry powder as I can. And then what we do here is we're beginning to form actual clay. So this clay is still tacky, very tacky still, so it's still coming off my hands. But in order to get it to a state that we could actually do something with, we're going to roll it around in our hands. And by doing this, we're compressing the clay particles and we're kind of aligning them. And then you will see your hands are going to start to get dirty. And I promised you guys would be getting dirty in this class. So I'm going to show you how to get it cleaned up really well. So what we have now is actual functional plastic clay that we can squeeze. It's easily moldable. It's still tacky to the touch, so that means there's a little excess moisture in that. But as you're rolling it around in your hands, the friction from your hands and the movement is taking out, it's wicking that moisture out, and that's what's coming up on my hands right now. So after this, you just keep going and you have your beautiful functional clay. I like to test it on the back of my hand because if nothing shows up on the back of my hand, then I know it's pretty much ready to go. But you'll keep rolling it around and then it'll be ready for you to begin to manipulate and move. And this is pure plastic. This is the best workable state that you can be in. And then the next thing we're going to do is pinch pot. So if you would like, with yours, you can kind of think about trying that out. You might want to, at this point, stop and take a break, go wash hands and come back with fresh hands that are not gucked up. And that would be helpful in regards to getting ready. And as you can see, it starts moving around. And this is pure plastic, wonderful, squishy, good clay that we would love to work with. So in the event, this actually is better than what's going to come out of the bags and the boxes. The stuff that's been in the boxes has been in heat, so it's going to be a little bit stiffer, so we're going to have to learn about wedging. And with that, we basically kind of roll it on the table, smush it down, fold it up like a wave cresting, and then push it back down. And roll it up and push, roll it up and push. And eventually you'll have kind of a spiral that starts forming. And that's how you eliminate air pockets. But it's dangerous because if your hands are still dirty, then you're getting chunks of clay in that, and you don't want that. Okay, so try to avoid that. All else fails, just start rolling it in your hands, just like you did before. And that, my friends, is how we bring bone dry clay that has not yet been fired, crush it into dust, and make it into plastic, workable clay.